Namaste and welcome to Devi Chamunda Mandir in Denver, Colorado. I'm Yamajit, and welcome to Navaratri Day 6. We're going to be doing two broadcasts. This will be the last time during the festival we'll be doing that. We're going to be reciting and learning about chapters 8 and 9 in the Devi Gita. And I'm doing the Mahavidyas slightly out of order. Normally, the next Mahavidya would be the goddess Chinnamasta, who we're going to be honoring tomorrow. But instead, we're going to honor two goddesses that are typically during Navaratri are honored on the same day. Simply, it's a way of getting 10 goddesses into 9 days, and these two, the energies for these two go very well together. So the first form of the Divine Mother that we're going to be honoring is Ma Dumavati, the widow. She is the Shakti without a Shiva. She is seen on a wagon without a draft animal. She's surrounded by crows. She wears the white clothing of a widow, and she holds a winnowing basket. And she represents the time in our spiritual development when we're ready to cast away certain things in our lives that no longer work for us. So in our second broadcast for chapter 9 of the Devi Gita, we will honor the goddess Baglamukhi, who we see holding a demon by the tongue, and the demon represents falsehood, and she's about to dispatch him with a club. And Dumavati represents the recognition and honoring of the truth over falsehood. She's also associated with the legal and political systems, and she can also be called upon in overcoming addictions. So in our first broadcast, we will honor Ma Dumavati, who I have represented by this Nepali ancestral carving. It's actually a nice carved piece of sandalwood. And then after the first broadcast for chapter 9, we'll honor Ma Baglamukhi. So again, welcome and namaste. Please feel free to say hello on our chat. And I'm just going to go right into the next chapter. Thank you for joining me at this rather unusual time as well. So we'll be meeting at noon today, noon tomorrow, and then the remaining 2 days of Navaratri will be back at the 7 p.m. slot. So, Devi Gita, chapter 8. The goal of the yogas known of Brahman, or knowledge of Brahman. And the goddess spoke. Cultivating the yogis just described, one should meditate on me as the true form of Brahman, with sincere devotion, assuming the proper posture, O king. And Brahman is the supreme consciousness of the universe. It is manifest, well fixed, pervading the hearts of beings. Indeed, it is the great foundation. Thereupon all moves, breaths, and blinks are established. Know that existent and non-existent, as the most desirable, as supreme, as beyond the understanding of humankind. What is luminous? What is smaller than the small, in which the worlds and their inhabitants are rooted? That is the imperishable Brahman. It is the life principle, speech, and mind. This is the real, the immortal. Know, the good sir, that this is what you are to pierce. Taking the great weapon of the Upanishads as the bow, nocked with the arrow, honed by meditation. Drawing it with the mind absorbed in contemplating that Brahman, know, good sir, that imperishable reality is the target. The syllable Om is the bow, while the self is the arrow. The Brahman is named as the target. It will be pierced by one who concentrates. One will merge into it like an arrow. When we see a deity image with a bow and arrow, that in itself is a symbol of meditative concentration. In it are woven the sky, earth, and atmosphere, as well as the mind along with all breaths. Know it alone as the one self. Let go of other notions at the bridge of immortality. Where the subtle channels of the body come together like the spokes in the nave of a wheel, there, this self circulates within, manifesting in diverse modes. Meditate on Om as the self. May you fare well in crossing to the far shore beyond the darkness. Within the space of the bright city, Brahman, the self, is established. Infused by the mind directing the breaths and the body, it abides in material form, taking charge of the heart. By their understanding, the wise recognize this blissful, immortal which shines brightly. The knot of the heart is untied, all doubts are removed, and the binding affects one's deeds pass when that self is seen, both the higher and the lower. In the highest golden sheath resides the unstained, indivisible Brahman. It is radiant, the light of lights, what self-knowers know. The sun shines not there, nor the moon and stars, nor do these lights shine, much less this fire. All things shine only after it shines. By its light, all this world becomes visible. Just as Brahman is immortal, in front is Brahman, behind is Brahman, on the right and on the left. It extends above and below. The whole universe is just Brahman, the greatest. Whoever realizes Brahman as such is the highest of humans, wholly fulfilled, merged in Brahman and serene, that one neither grieves nor desires. Fear surely arises from another, O king. In the absence of another, one does not fear. I am not separate from anyone, nor is anyone separate from me. I indeed am that person, and that person is I. Regard this as certain, O mountain. One sees me wherever one finds a person who knows me. I do not abide in any sacred site, not even in Shiva's mountain abode, nor in Vishnu's heaven. Yet I dwell in the midst of the lotus heart of one who knows me. Worshipping just once a person who knows me gives the same fruit as worshipping me millions of times. One's family is purified, one's mother is completely fulfilled, and the whole earth is blessed when one's heart dissolves into pure consciousness, the knowledge of Brahman that you inquired about, best of mountains. I have described fully. There is nothing more to say. I am teaching to the eldest son, filled with devotion and of good character, and to the disciple of proper disposition is to be revealed, but not to anyone else at all. For one who is supremely devoted to God and to the Guru as to God, for such a noble soul, these matters just described become clear. One who teaches this knowledge is indeed the Supreme Lord, whose generosity and disciple can never repay. Greater even than the Father, it is said, is the bestower of birth through spiritual knowledge. For the birth engendered by the Father perishes, but never what is engendered by the teacher. Do no injury to the teacher, so says sacred precept, O mountain. Thus, the religious law concludes that the guru bestowing spiritual knowledge is supreme. When Shiva is provoked, the guru can save. When the guru is provoked, Shiva cannot save. Therefore, O mountain, one should please the holy guru with all one's efforts, dedicating all one does with body and mind and speech to the guru. One should remain thus focused. Otherwise, one becomes ungrateful, and there is no expiation for ingratitude. Indra revealed this knowledge to Artvana, threatening to decapitate him. When Artvana revealed it to the two Ashvins, the two twin children of the sun, Indra cut off his head. Seeing his horse head destroyed, the two Ashvins, excellent divine physicians, restored the sage's original head once again. Thus, the knowledge of Brahman, difficult to attain, mountain chief, one who attains it is blessed and completely fulfilled, O mountain. Jema, Jema, Jema. So at this point, I'd just like to make a little comment. As we've been going through this scripture, it's really been a listing and a discussion of different forms of devotion. So recitation of the Divine Mother's holy names, pilgrimage to her sacred places, devotion to a guru, to a teacher, also traditional Ashtanga and Kriya yogas have already been discussed as well, and also the Vedic knowledge of the nature of consciousness. In the next chapters, we will also see discussions in Bhakti Yoga, Yoga of Devotion, and Tantra Yoga as well. And so I think we've reached a point where we can really begin to discuss the true meaning of this scripture. And what it really describes is there are many paths to the source. There are many paths to the divine. You may follow a guru. You may go on pilgrimage. You may do sadhana where you're repeating the Divine Mother's holy names. You have a regular yoga practice. All of those things will bring you to the same source. All of these paths are equally as powerful. And I think this is just an amazing scripture in describing that. So I invite you now to make yourself comfortable, find a nice seated position where you can stay in meditation for a few minutes. I invite you to close your eyes, open your breath, bringing your hands to your heart center. Breathing deeply. Letting go of past and future and centering on the present. Breathing into your heart center and focusing on that divine presence within. And in the spirit of Ma Dumavati, I invite you to think of something in your life that in this stage in your life that you're just ready to let go of, and imagine it just leaving you with each out breath. And think again upon a particular life issue that you're working on at this time, that you've been asking the Divine Mother's assistance in healing or resolving. And know that in this puja, you're taking yet another step toward that resolution, toward that healing, toward that balance. And so let's open our practice and meditation by chanting the Devi Bij mantra Hrim 3 times. Inhale. Hrim. Hrim. Om. Pavitra Pavitruva Sarvabhistam Gatopiva Yashmade Pandarikaksham Sabhyabhyanta Sushi. Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namah. Jai Ganesha. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namah. Jai Guru. Om Dhumavataye cha vidmaye Samsadhanye cha dhimai Tano Dhuma Prachodayat. Jema Dhumavati. Om Hrim Namah. 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 Om Nama Jema. So make yourself comfortable, sitting in a way where you can remain still with a straight spine for the next few minutes as we chant our chapter and our mantras. And let the words and the sounds and the tones, let them guide your consciousness and bring the awareness that you need at this moment. Om Dum Namah. 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 Om Namah Chandikaye. Om Namah Chandikaye. Om Namah Chandikaye. Devi Vacha. Ityad Yoga Yuktama. Dayan Mam Brahma Rupinim. Bhaktya Nivyajaya Rajanasane. Samupastita. Avisanihitam Guracharam Namahatpatam Aryetat Sarvamapita Mejat Prananimi Sachatat Etajanata Srad Sadvaranyam Brahmam Vina Natyatvaristam Prajanam Yadachimadaya Tabnum Yonuchas Yasmelim Loka Nita Lokinascha Tade Taraksaram Brahma Na Pranastandovan Mana Tade Tat Satyamamrutam Tadvehavyam Samya Vede Tanau Gruhit Vapani Satam Mahastram Saram Hyupasani Stitam Sandhyayayite Ayam Yam Tad Bhava Gatena Chetasya Laksmam Tadevaksaram Sumita Vidi Pranavodana Sarohyatma Brahma Talakshya Muchate Apramatena Vedhayam Saravatan Mayo Beve Yasmin Jyocha Putiva Chantarak Sammutam Manaha Prascha Salvaya Tamevai Kamyanatat Manamanyavacho Manunchatam Ujasya Sata Araivarata Nabho Samatayatra Nadaha Sasontascharete Bahudayaya Mana Omityavam Dayaya Tatmanam Svastiva Paraya Tamas Parasat Devi Brahmapure Vyomni Atma Sampratistita Manomana Prana Sarineta prastiti tone hudyam sanidaya tatviknanena patpasyante dhirananda rupam rutam yavidbhati vidyate hrudaya grantis chidyante sarvasamsaya krisyante Jasya kamani tasmim drusti paravare Hiranmai parakosye virajam brahmaniskalam Tachubaram jyotisam jyotistad jadatma vidovrita Na tatra suryabhati na Chandratarakam nena vidyota banti kuto yamagni tameva tamam upati sarvam tasya basya sarvmidam vibhati brahmevedam amrutam purastad brahma paschad brahma dakshinatas kotarena adhas chodvam cha pradrutam pradme vedam vishvam varastam etadurga no bhavo yasya sakruteto narottama brahma bhuta prasannatma na sochatina kangsati dvidivadvai bhayam rajam stada bhavad bibatena na tadviyogo mepyate madviyogo pitasyana ahameva sasoham vai nischitam vidapavata madashanam tutara sadadyatra nanistito mama naram tite na kailase vachunte vanacha hichit vasyamahintu manajani hidayamboja madhame matpuja kotipaladam sakrunmam janinochanam kulam pavitaram tasyate janate kruta krutyaka visvambara pujavati chilayovasya chetasa brahmananam tuyasputam taya pravata satama katyam katmaya sarvam nato vaktramastihi yidam jestaya puraja bhukti yuktaya silane sisyaya cha yutoktaya vaktapyam nayata krichit yasya devi padas bhaktir Devi tata guru tasya te katita harita praksante mahatmane yeno pastita vidyayam saiva parameshvara yasyam sukrukam katumasamata satrukruni pitrorama dika Rotu Brahmajana Pradyaka Piruyatam Jamanastram Netram Jatam Kadakana Tasme Nadruhe Drityade Nigamopya Vananaga Tasmachasrasya Sidanto Brahmadatta Guru Para Shivaruste Guru Satra Gaururusti sankara tasmat sarva prayanena Sri Gurum tosya yenaga kayana masyana vacha sarvada tatparo bhavat anyatotru krutugastya syat krutagne nastistis guru Netrena Tarvana Yokta Sirscheda Pratinaya Avikyam Kanate Tasya Sesaschinam Chavajnarina Avayam Tachiro Nastam Trusvavadio Sarotamo Punasam Yojitam Shivyam Tabhyam Munese Sada Itekanta Samprada Brahma Vidyanaga Love Yahen Nyenasa Daya Satkruta Kruyascha Buddhara. Om Dum Namah. 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 Allowing yourself now to meditate in stillness and in silence. Feeling yourself embraced by the powers of the mantra and the verses. Letting your consciousness become aware of whatever it is ready for at this moment. Allowing for the Divine Mother's guidance and healing, protection, and knowledge. I invite you now to take a deep and clearing breath, bringing your awareness now back to your body and your surroundings. The sound of my voice, the sounding of the bell, sensation of your body where it's seated, clothes on your skin, surrounding air at temperature. Slowly moving your fingers and your toes, your hands and your feet and your arms and your legs. Bringing your hands together at heart center, thanking the Divine Mother for her presence and listening to our benedictions. Om Sava Mangala Mangalye Shiva Svara Sadake Saranye Trambake Devi Naryane Namostute. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sana Bhavatu Sana Bhunaktu Saviryam Kadavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvidyavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Slowly opening your eyes. Namaste. Jai Mata Di. Om Tat Sat Om. Jai Ganesha. Jai Guru. Jai Namah Dumavati. Jai Mata Di. Jai Mata Di. Jai Mata Di. Jai Ma. So thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the meditation. This chapter was in a somewhat different meter. I'm going to go ahead and sign off on this broadcast. We can take a nice 10-minute break while I get the next one going. And we will honor Ma Baglamukhi and study chapter 9 of the Devi Gita. Blessings and thank you. And see you in a few minutes.